Good morning.
Hello guys.
Good morning from Warsaw, Poland. Dzień dobry, I guess we should say. I'm slowly learning some Polish here. We just arrived here. We were in Canada with my family, and it is the middle of the night in Canada.
It's about midnight right now for us.
No, I think it's way later. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh, I have no idea what time it is.
He's already checked out Canadian time zone. Either way, we didn't really sleep on the plane. No. I was hoping that the Gravol would help, but it didn't.
I accidentally had caffeinated tea, so that also didn't help.
Yeah, so we're on a caffeine jolt right now. So if we seem a little like crazy, that's why. But we are so excited to be in Poland. If you guys remember, in 2017, a couple of years ago, we were in Poland for the first time ever. We went to Warsaw when we did the Christmas market tour, and we weren't even really planning to go to Poland on that trip, and then kind of added it on. And that was one of our favorite Christmas markets. It really was. It was a total highlight. If you watched our kind of Christmas market awards show, you know how much we loved it, and we've always wanted to come back to Poland. So the Polish Tourism Board invited us to come back, and we were like, yes to the yes, because we just wanted to explore more of Poland. So right now we're on a press trip, so this is day 1, and we're a little bit, okay, we gotta go downstairs.
Oh, 2 minutes.
We are getting a ride downstairs very shortly to go to a museum. So we just wanted to kind of take you guys around with us today and explore Warsaw. So let's go.
Here we go.
Check for the key. We're just downstairs in the lobby of our hotel, so I thought I would tell you this is Motel 1. It's right across from the Chopin Museum, so it's right in the middle of Warsaw, and they just opened in, I think she said like 2 months ago. When we were checking in, she's like, so far we've survived a Metallica concert down the street and a soccer match between Poland and Austria, so she's like, we can handle anything. So I thought that was kind of cute. Anyway, it's a beautiful hotel, and it has that like new car smell, if you know what I mean, when things are really new. It smells so nice. Good morning! This museum is called the PRL Museum, and PRL in Polish stands for People's Republic of China. PRL stands for People's Republic of Poland, and this museum basically tells the story of the beginning of communism here in Poland to the end of communism and all of the life and history in between. So I just want to kind of show you around some of my favorite parts because I think it's really cool. This is one of my favorite spaces, and it's set up to look like a typical apartment would have during the communist time in Poland. And apparently every apartment looked pretty much the same, so this is meant to look very typical and very small, as you can see, so no space is wasted. There's the kitchen. This is one of the washing machine, and then this is the bathroom, and that's the shower head, and the shower is attached here. And so you would just literally stand by the sink, and this was your shower. Toilet paper was hard to come by at that time in Poland, and otherwise you would just use regular newspaper. So if you were lucky enough to get your hands on some real toilet paper, it was a real status symbol. So people would sort of, you know, wear it around the streets to show that they had actual toilet paper. This is a soda water machine, but it's jokingly referred to as a tuberculosis soda machine because everyone would use the same glass. So it's on this chain, and you would put your money in and fill it up, and then everyone would use the same glass, which is very eco-friendly but not the most hygienic. This coffee maker is over 50 years old, and apparently somebody just left it on the doorstep of the museum, and they were able to figure out how to get it working, and so Mark and I actually got to watch them make coffee on this and then try it, and it was delicious. It's a drink that everyone apparently recognizes in Poland, and you can still get it. It was really, really popular. have just left the museum and we are starving. So lunch is the next stop. That's where we're headed now. So we've arrived at the place that we're stopping for lunch. This market hall I just wanted to tell you about because you know how I feel about repurposed buildings, and that's exactly what this space is. It's called Koshiki, and it's a beautiful old building with these perfectly preserved details, and inside they have closed it all in the roof, and there's all these restaurants inside now. And the restaurant that we're going to is called Shma, hope I'm saying that right, which in Polish means moth, because the restaurant's open late at night like a moth. So that's where we are going, and I'm really excited, so let's go inside. Party's still anything sparkle.
That's right.
It's a life philosophy and a beverage choice. Looks like dill, potato and dill. It's nice and light.
Yeah? Richard, what do you think?
Mom's very delicate.
You're a fan?
Almost as good as my mom's.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's high praise.
That is high praise. I'm serious. We finished lunch, it was delicious, and we come to a park to kind of walk it off because we had a lot of potatoes, as you saw. And this park is called Łazienki, and in English that means like bathroom or bathhouse, which is kind of a funny name maybe for a park, but it's because back in the 1600s there was a nobleman who had this property and built his place to bathe here. So back then obviously you didn't bathe every single day, but if you were wealthy then you might bathe once a week or maybe every 2 weeks, and so this was his special place to come and have that whole ritual. And it's so amazing to see the green space in Warsaw because it's a city of like 2 million people. It's a big city, and about a third of Warsaw is green space. So this is a big, beautiful park. It's really calm because in this particular park you can't ride a little scooter and you can't drive a bike. So the pace here is just very slow and it's very quiet, and it's just the perfect day to have a post-potato lunch stroll. So that is where this park Łazienki gets its name. That, some version of that was where the bathhouse was, and it's actually on an island. There's a little bridge there and a bridge on the right, and the last king of Poland purchased it and changed it into what it is now, and it was his palace. He actually lived there, but that's where the original bathhouse was that gives this park its name. Pretty nice place to bathe. You know, when you visit a new place, you kind of think like, if I lived here, where would I go? Where would I spend my time? Where would I get my coffee? Or at least I do that a lot. And walking around this park, which is more of a museum than a park, I feel like I would spend a lot of time here. The pace is really nice. It's so green and lush, and of course it doesn't hurt that I'm here on a perfect, like picture perfect day. But man, the vibe here is just so nice, and I feel like I could just sit in this chair for hours and hours. I want to show you this monument. This is of Chopin, who is one of my favorite composers. I love listening to the nocturnes, especially. It always makes me feel very calm. Anyway, there's this monument to him here now in the park. The original one was destroyed, and it's enormous. I don't know if you can tell how big it is. And there's this beautiful pond in front with chairs and all these benches, because I just found this out. Every Sunday here, they have a concert of some of Chopin's best known works, and they have world famous pianists who come from all over the world, and they set up the piano right underneath the monument there on the right hand side, and it's a free open air concert at noon and 4 o'clock every single Sunday. They get like 85,000 people every year at these concerts, and even if it's raining, they still do the concerts. So must do, I would say, if you happen to be in Warsaw on a Sunday. I think that's absolutely amazing. I wish it was Sunday right now, but it's not, so I'll just have to use my imagination and let the Chopin play in my head. Sadly, we have left the park now, so bye-bye Enki, and now we're headed to the old town in Warsaw, and to get there we're going to take a bus, and apparently the transportation system here is really good. I've noticed a lot of buses and streetcars, and there's also a subway system, so now we get to try it out for ourselves. Chopin tour of Warsaw continues. We just got off the bus and we're making our way to the old town, and there's a church here where Chopin's heart is buried in the wall, and I'd like to see it. You can't actually see it's in the wall, but I'd still like to go in, so we're gonna head inside this church. I want to be quiet because we're obviously in a church, but just behind me, right over there, there's a big plaque, and that's where Chopin's heart is buried. Right there. Obviously I wanted to be quiet in there because it's a church, but I'm really glad we got to go in there. This is called the Church of the Holy Cross, and I feel like I got to say thank you to Chopin for all the wonderful nocturnes that I've enjoyed.
I gave a little thank you myself as well.
Yeah, so I'm glad we got to see that. That meant a lot. Okay, more Chopin. Never enough Chopin. So this is a bench that plays music. I don't know if you can hear that right now. And there are benches like this all along the route where he spent a lot of his time when he lived in Warsaw. So this installation is from 2010, and this map shows you places of significance in Chopin's life. And there are benches that play music all along the way and give you a little history of the significance there. Ah, so good. So not only are there these benches that play Chopin's music, but there's an app you can download called the Selfie with Chopin app, and whenever you're in close proximity to these benches, you can take a selfie with Chopin. It's the coolest, best use of technology ever. I gotta show you this picture just one sec. Here is our selfie with Chopin. Man, that is so cool. This church behind me is one of the only churches that survived the Second World War. There were 63 churches at that time and only 9 that survived. This is a 17th century church, and Chopin actually played the organ here as a child, and it's still in its original form, which makes it very unique considering 85% of Warsaw was destroyed. So it's beautiful to see something that survived still standing today. So we made it to the heart of Old Town, but Old Town isn't really old because it was
just a baby by European standards.
Yeah, it was destroyed almost completely, like 90% during the Second World War, but then they rebuilt it in almost the exact same way, so it looks just like it did beforehand, and finished the building by 1953.
Except for the King's Palace, which was 1984.
Yeah, because obviously it takes a long time to rebuild something that's completely destroyed. But it's so beautiful here, like the buildings are brightly colored, You've got all these like restaurants and cafes, everyone's sitting outside. It's a good place to people watch.
Super good vibes here.
Yeah, really good vibes.
Yeah, maybe one of my favorite parts of the city so far.
Yeah, so far for sure. It's just really pretty and everyone seems like they're very calm.
Yep.
Just enjoying life.
Riding around on scooters.
Yeah, it's nice.
Watch the tide overflow.
This is something I wanted to point out. So this whole area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site now, and the building, like all of this wall, like this entire building, this is all reconstruction. However, some of the elements are original, and these are actually bullet holes from the Warsaw uprising. So these are original. And I think it's really interesting that they kept those authentic details and then incorporated them into this larger reconstruction. So this is the market square in the old town that was rebuilt, and all of this is reconstruction except this side, this facade. We just saw an archival photo of General Eisenhower standing right about here, and you can see this facade or what was left of it there. So it's interesting to see how that was transformed back into this. We're making our way out of the old town now down towards the river. I just had to stop because this hill, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm standing like at the top of a hill, basically translates to crap hill because from the 14th century when the city was founded up until 1844, people dumped their garbage here, all of their crap, and now it's called Crap Hill. And of course now they've laid turf over it and it's this nice like panoramic view of the city down to the Vistula River. It is pretty funny that the name Crap Hill has stayed for what is now such a pretty place in Warsaw.
So we're just walking along what's called the Vistula Boulevard, and there's people biking all along here. It's about 6.5 kilometers long, and we're just coming up to a cafe. There's boats that will take you across to an island over there where there's a couple beaches. Super good vibes here, and it's still being worked on. They're gonna add another kilometer or so to it. So it'll just take you all day to walk from one end to the other.
So we have walked, let's see, 15,025 steps, which is, just checking my Fitbit, 10.87 kilometers. So I feel
wow.
we earned our dinner tonight. So we're at this traditional Polish restaurant. The moment that I know I've been waiting for. I believe you've been waiting for.
All the way from Canada.
Our pierogies have arrived, and it's beige and it's beautiful. We got two different kinds. So this is with spinach and smoked sheep cheese. Mark got the, what is it? With just potato and white cheese. And then it looks like some little caramelized onions here. Also beige and beautiful.
Yeah.
Warm, cheesy carbs.
The best kind of carbs.
Do you good? Post pierogi dessert now. Mark got the, here I'll show you, cheesecake.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice there are two pieces of cheesecake.
That's right.
In a single order.
All for me.
So good luck with that.
Thank you.
And then I have this delicious looking apple pie.
Freshly baked.
Freshly baked, it just came out of the oven.
And look at that beautiful plate.
And it has buttermilk crumble with vanilla ice cream.
Oh my god.
I know. So we're gonna finish our dessert, and I hope that you have enjoyed coming along with us today on day one of Warsaw, and hopefully we'll get some sleep tonight.
Yes, I hope so.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you do for lots more travel adventures. And if you like this video, give it a like, and we'll see you in the morning. Bye.
Bye.